Yeah, I mean, I was impressed, but it just seems like it's purposely made. Yeah, they were like the season field there. So it's kind of like, yeah, about it. Flag everywhere. Oil, like something. All right, 3:15, we'll get rolling. We're going to talk some special teams today. What I wanted to do is, obviously I'll have some stuff to talk about, but basically once we get into the drill work, a lot of it is going to be our indie circuit. So really how to make the most out of the time that we do. I know special teams are often, crammed into practice. We're fortunate we get about 25 minutes of special teams practice, which is great. But I know at the high school level specifically, trying to get that in can be rushed sometimes. So I'm going to show you some of our circuits, how we optimize our time, with multiple drills going on at once. I'll show you kind of the organization, how we make sure everybody knows where they're going, where they need to be, how coaches are involved. I'll leave this up here for now while I kind of intro myself. I'll also go back to this at the end. Take my email, take my cell. If you want anything on this presentation, just shoot me an email. I'll send it right over to you guys. But Special Carey, Special Teams Coordinator, coach the cornerbacks, newly moved to those positions, but fired up. To the high school coaches in here, just wanted to send a personal thank you. I'm from Maine, played at Lawrence High School. Would not have gone into this profession if it wasn't for people like you who are sitting in these seats. Had great coaches, Coach Hurston, Coach Mulady, Coach Rogers here in the front, Coach Blaisdell, Coach McGee, and my basketball side of things that influenced me to get into the coaching profession. That's what sports are what I love, and those are the guys that really mentored me and made me into the person that I am. So Lawrence High School graduated. From there, fortunate to play at the University of Maine for Coach Cosgrove for 3 years, and then Coach Harry Simiak for 2 years. So obviously more mentors in my life that kind of solidified me wanting to get into coaching. So I appreciate you guys for everything that you do for the game in our state. Continue to do what you do. And if there's anything that me or our staff can do to help, please reach out. We certainly care about the game in the state and are very thankful for everything that you do. So we'll come back to this slide at the end. I'm kind of getting into how we organize things. If you guys do have meetings, love this from a coach that I worked for, that I admire deeply. Just a quick, easy way to make sure guys are locked in during meetings. Just a SLANT acronym. Sit up, listen, ask questions, nod, and track. So instead of calling guys out in meetings, just say, hey, SLANT for me real quick, and then I'm on to the next coaching point. Don't need to mess around, make a whole big deal of it. When you see a guy start to fade off or start to lose attention, just SLANT. Quick and easy. Expectations, notebook and pencil at all times. Right, kids these days, if you write it down, you're more apt to learn it. And then bring energy and focus. That's really in everything that we do. So kind of how we run the meeting rooms. The core to us, so that's our special team unit. Is the core, all 6 of them. Represent the core values of our football program, which we'll get into in a little bit here. But big note for us as a staff, it takes 100% commitment from the entire program to excel on special teams. That's from team players, that's from starters on the special teams, that's from the coaching staff, making sure we're all speaking the same language. 100% commitment if we want to excel on these teams and make an impact on the games. Our motto, we'll play with controlled aggression and be the most violent and disciplined football team, which we'll get into in a little bit. And then One Direction will win us games, which we're going to get into now. So One Direction is our special teams motto. It's also our team motto. So it was started by Jeff Cole, who was the special teams coordinator in 2004. Tragically passed away from cancer, but left this tradition alive for the University of Maine football program, which we still talk about. Obviously, with the Tap and Rock, is still alive each and every day that we're on campus and doing the things that we love. So it resonates the pride, passion, and tradition of Black Bear football. It's important to us. It's on our helmet. Like we said, we tap it on the rock. Every time that we go onto the field, once we tap that rock, everything else is out of the picture. These guys have a lot of things going on throughout their lives. Once we're past this rock, we're working on the field, and we're hitting the ground running. So important to know just what One Direction means for us. The 6 pillars of special teams. So these are things that we feel are vitally important to our success, not only on this unit, but how they affect the game. Right? So attitude, effort, physicality, nothing crazy there. But we have to have guys that want to be on these units. Our best players should be on these units. Right? We have guys that want to play in the NFL. You guys have players that want to play in college. They should be on your special teams units. It's not up to the third string linebacker to be a starter on kickoff. That should be your starting Mike linebacker, flying down on kickoff, setting the tone. If they need a break, they'll get a break on defense. That's kind of how we look at it. 0 on the board, that just resonates with you. Block kicks, win the turnover battle, right? Create, when we're catching the ball or receiving the ball, no turnovers, and force turnovers when we're getting rid of the ball. Win the battle field position, which we'll get into, and a big one for us, penalty free. No setbacks when we're receiving the ball, and then obviously not giving up extra possessions when we're kicking the ball away. And then technique is huge. We harp on it every single day. It's going to be a huge emphasis of us going into spring ball this spring once we get rolling. Again, going back to the 100% commitment, every coach needs to be speaking the same language, because we can't harp on technique if our wide receivers coach isn't speaking the same language on technique as the rest of the coaching staff. So this is the field position. I'm sure we've all seen this, but just a great visual for our guys to see the importance of special teams, or field position, excuse me. So ones that I like to look at below here, right? So if we, anytime you're kicking off, so let's talk kickoff, we can fair catch it all day long and get the ball up to 25, right? But as soon as you get past the 40, you more than double your percentage to score, right? So explosive returns, backed up, punts, getting great punts off, right? Change field position vitally enhances your chance to score or reduces it for the other team to score. So big visual for our guys. We harp on this often, just making sure we know the importance of winning the battle of field position, right? How we define a turnover. Again, not crowd-breaking stuff. Fumble on kickoff for KOR, forcing a fumble on kickoff for KOR. More importantly, fake punt, fake field goal, right? Whether we are converting that, gaining an extra possession for our offense, we'll count that as a turnover on the other team, right? Vice versa on defense, if they can convert a fake punt, they convert a fake field goal, extra possession for them. Bad news for the Blackbear. Jumping off sides, roughing the kicker, all normal stuff there, and then obviously recovering an onside kick. Turnovers are the name of the game, is extra possessions at the end of the day. So we need to force them, we need to eliminate the other way. Won't harp on this too long, but just another visual for our guys of what we're trying to execute in each unit, right? So punt, we got to execute our possession first and foremost, and then flip field position. Kickoff, force opponent to start their drive inside the 25. Again, they can fair catch all day long and start at the 25. Our goal is to have great kick location, tackle it inside the 25. We'll get into some techniques later. Mentally tough on PAT field goal. We're a Division I college athletics, so we should expect to convert every PAT opportunity that we get. Punt return, field line to execute, and then secure possession. Kickoff return, start it, or secure every possession. Again, first and foremost, get the ball back to our offense, and then we want to get past the 25-yard line. And then field goal block, no plays off, and then change the game, block a kick. We blocked a couple this year that had an opportunity to change the outcome of the game there. So making progress here, but huge emphasis. A lot of times that's after a long defensive drive. Maybe they just scored, teams mailed in. You can see that on tape. Our identity of our black hole, we say, shows up on field goal block. That's not a playoff. Go change the scoreboard. Just a way we get guys to buy into our special teams philosophy, right? We call them the hunters. So the hunters set the tone for the program, right? They set the tone for the program, do the dirty work for the rest of the sleuth. Stole this from Coach Waters out there in the back. He looked it up. He's smarter than me. A sleuth. Anybody know what a sleuth is? Me neither. It's a pack of bears. So steal this. They're setting the tone for the rest of the team. For our guys, right? If they are a hunter, they're a starter on all three special teams. Well, Coach, what about O-line, D-line? D-line can become a hunter if they block a PAT field goal. O-line can become a hunter if they play on 100% of snaps on field goal PAT. What do the hunters get? Again, trying to get guys to buy into special teams. They get their pick of the seat on the bus. When we fly, they get the better seats. Every time we have a team meal, they eat first. So it goes hunters eat first, then O-line, D-line. Every time. So just giving them a way to, hey coach, I want to be on kickoff, right? Rather than, coach, like, falling in the back of lines, not wanting to be up there. No, everybody wants to be 100. Organization, we'll move into some, that's more of the philosophical stuff. We'll get into the organization now. So the way we operate, right, our depth chart is always posted in the locker room. They always know when the meetings are. Kairos is just a group chat that we use. And they need to check this every day. They need to know when the meetings are. They need to know the depth chart. And we emphasize depth is just for a day. That's going to be huge during spring ball where we're trying to create competition. Depth is just for a day. If you're a starter day 1 and day 3 you're a 2, that doesn't mean you mail it in, you're never going to be a starter again. It's for a day. There's a reason you got moved. Let's correct it. Let's find a way to get you bumped back up. Meeting expectations, you guys can read that. And then big one here, practice expectations. Again, time is limited with special teams. Right? We need to be optimize the time that we have. We need to know where to go, what drill am I going to, where that drill is going to be. I need to know what to do when I get there. We should have already coached the drills up in our meetings, and then obsessive effort when we get there. We're not wasting reps. Special teams periods aren't a period on. Excuse me, burping up some pieces. So this is just a way that we map out practice. I know it's a little blurry, but really just trying to give you guys a look of the overall theme. So this will be posted in the locker room. So we're going to get into circuits today. So all of these posted are circuits. So you have here, right, front side, this is our punt circuit. Front side, everybody that is going to be working at that station to start, their name is listed. So when they go to the locker room, they see it. Now they know where to be when we go period 1 punt circuit. Same thing on the other side, right? Names listed. Very clearly, guys in purple, double listed, they're going to rotate through. Arrows rotating through. You have your drills listed out, and you have the coach there who's going to be running the drill. Over here is just more of our diagrams of once we get to scout periods, just showing them what the script is. We're not having any secrets, and then the scout box is blank, but once we get to practices, they know who the scout teams are. So we're not calling out, hey, we need a scout. No, we already know who the scouts are. If they want to be on special teams, they'll already be out there. Getting in the front, any questions on philosophy, anything like that? Again, I'll go back to the starting slide with my email. I'm more than happy to send this out to anybody that wants it. So getting in the punt, so this is where our core values show up. So these are our 6 core values of Maine football. Accountable, tough, compete, family, passion, belief. If you ask any player on our roster, they can name these off instantly, or else they're going to get yelled at. So accountable is punt's philosophy. Right? Everybody is accountable to the guy next to them and the guy behind them to do their job. Otherwise, punts are getting blocked, and that's bad news. Right? So everybody's accountable to each other. When we start at basic knowledge of football, we're going to talk in leverage. Again, not ground-based breaking stuff, but always want to have a ball-me-man relationship. That's how we're always going to talk about leverage, using both coverage and protection. Right? So when we're talking protection, we want to be inside out. Again, ball-me-man. Ball-me-man. When we're talking coverage, now we're outside in, pressing the leverage hip. We'll get into one of those drills in a little bit here. Our stance. Our stance for punt, everybody except for gunners and the shield, we're in a square stance, feet shoulder width apart. We have one position that's a little bit different that we'll show. But we call it athletic position. So AP, that's another core value. Shoulder slightly, or feet shoulder slightly wider than shoulder width apart. Our hands are in our holsters, ready to shoot. Our weight is loaded on the inline or the insteps of our feet. So if this is my foot, right on the inline, so I'm ready to move and no wasted movement there. If I'm moving, which we are on punt, my weight is preloaded on the foot that I'm pushing off of. So no wasted time. So if I'm moving to my right, I'm in my stance, my weight should be loaded on my left foot. So I'm ready to get my 6-inch step and shoot my hands. So this is day 1 stuff. Everybody should know the stance. Everybody should be able to drop down and be comfortable in this stance. When we get to blocking, right, everybody on this team unit needs to know how to block. Everybody's going to block the same way. It's a 2-handed punch to the sternum. Our thumbs are up, our palms are out. Our elbows are tight. Eliminate any opportunity for hold, and then screws the chin. When we say screws the chin, that just means my screws, I have great pad level because I'm lower than him. So if we look at this top left picture, that's Tyshawn Stewart. We'll see a lot of him on the tape. His screws are to the chin of the Rhode Island punt return team. That's how it should look. Evan Wallace on the right doing the same thing. We're going to get into so this is the start of our circuit. So one of those squares on that diagram. First circuit, day 1 of spring, when the guys come back, we're going to work an A-step. When am I using an A-step? The guy I'm responsible for blocking has a loose alignment on me. So Frankie Pratt's ball is to the left here. He's one of our tight ends. His assignment has a loose alignment outside the framework of his body. Slight stagger in his stance. His footwork. Now to come up here, you've got to wait in for this moment. This is Sean Downs, one of our student assistants. Does a great job for us. I'm not going to go use the chin on Sean Downs. That was a short joke. So I'm here. He's loose outside of the framework of my body. My first step is a 6-inch step towards the near number of his jersey. My second foot is going to work towards the midline of his body, trying to get movement off the line of scrimmage. My hat always has to stay inside. We'll talk about the block spot as we get rolling here, but hat always has to be inside, protecting the block spot. So as we go here, this is another day one drill. I want you to watch Jabari. This was during preseason camp. He's a true freshman doing this drill. So ball is to the right. That's Coach Gardner simulating this step. What step am I using? He's outside the framework of my body. I'm using an A step. 6-inch step towards the near number. Right? Maybe a little bit of an overstep, but we need to get the scout team also working up the field. 6-inch step to the near number. Second foot, working to the midline. And then we'll release, always snagging outside in. So put this one on here. These guys, some stuff to clean up in their footwork, like the screws to chin. You can see 53 there. Now this guy has a free release to the block spot. Always releasing or snagging low and away from the block spot. But pretty good by a true freshman doing it for the first time. Again, first step not bad. He moves his second step there with his right foot. Kind of loses leverage. Finishing with our hat inside. Watching Jared Times, another freshman, do it. Again, first step, great. Second step, his left foot needs to start to gain ground to protect his block spot. Great screws to chin, just has to finish with his hat inside. Finish with his hat inside. Good picture by Kalume, a little high. Good first step. Second step needs to gain ground. A good picture with his hat finishing inside. That's what we're trying to accomplish there. Again, as we get into this thing, Tynes is kind of doing it. We'll start to work. So day one, no release. Once we progress from there, we'll start to work our snag technique where we grip low and away from the block spot and release vertically. Number one goal of punt, protect, obviously. Second goal, need to get out and cover. We have some dynamic returners in this league. There are some all over the state of Maine, I'm sure. Need to get down and cover, eliminate space, and work the next phase. So here we go, game flip, looking at tie shot. First step to the right, gaining back his leverage. Screws the chin can be a little lower. Left foot needs to gain ground. A really good job finishing with his hat inside, protecting the block spot. Same thing by Jared Times. Much better job with his step. Left foot can still gain a little bit of ground, but great job fighting to get his hat inside. Screws to chin. Now when we release, now he's going to snag low and away. We won't talk about it, I don't have a slide of it, but if we watch number 0 here, if we ever have guys that have a heavy inside alignment, we don't feel like we're going to be able to gain leverage back, we'll just flatline them down the line of scrimmage. Here, Downsy. So Downsy's inside of me, ball's to my right. He has a split where I don't feel like I can get my hat back inside. Ball is snapped, I'm trying to work to get my hat inside. He has a heavy down the line of scrimmage release. I'm just going to call it flat line down the line of scrimmage. So my near hand on the near shoulder, my inside hand is on the V of the neck, and I'm just going to ride him down the line of scrimmage and try and make a mess. Eliminate any vertical penetration. Don't have a slide on here, but that's what you see by 0 here. Just trying to flat line down the line of scrimmage. A little bit too much vertical penetration here. I'd like to see him get his second step in the ground more and just run him down and make a mess.
Specs, is that a call? On hold guys, when 0 goes down, it's 38 going down.
Yeah, so that's part of our scheme. Okay. I don't think we have any opponents in here. So really how we do it, man side, he's on 1, cutting 2 for the shield. He has 3, he has 4. Our front side shield is taking 2. This is our zone side. So 0 has A, B, and then C. This guy will go 5 to stand. There's part of the scheme. But we will communicate, we're a heavy communicating operation, where we'll go cadence, everybody claps, and we'll point at who we're responsible for blocking. That way the shields aren't confused on who they're picking up. Everybody knows what's going on, everybody's accounted for, there's nobody doubled up on anybody. The next step, right, we call it the C step. So this is more of a dig them out mindset. Dig them out mindset. So our inside foot is back. A lot of times this happens on the back side of our scheme, the zone side. Right? So our inside foot is back, it's like staggered. My first set is going to lose ground to gain leverage. Lose ground to gain leverage, basically just buying yourself some more time. Second step is going to cross the stripe with the defender. And then third step, you're just going to finish back in that sit position with your hat inside. So you can see in this picture, this is Zen playing for the Colts right now. We just talked about our scheme. So Vince is taking the A gap, which is this man. Zay on C has to travel all the way to this man. So he's going to lose ground to gain his leverage and protect the block spot. So as we go here, all of these guys are working. I want you to watch number 7 here. This is obviously an emphasized drill. Typically we'll use this. This guy is a little further inside. But he's going to lose ground with his right foot. Left foot back to the midline, and then he's going to sit down. Great job of keeping his hat inside, screws the chin, protecting the block spot. Not bad by John Gay here, just want to eliminate crossover steps. So losing ground with his right foot, bring his left foot back to center, and then snap his right foot back around, gain inside leverage. Again, so you can see, this is the shield circuit going on, and then the front side's going on up here. So this is optimizing reps. This will take 5 minutes to get everybody through. Obviously the shield stays there. They don't do these 2 drills. But after a couple minutes, we'll just flip-flop these guys, optimizing time throughout the practice. Here's a picture of it. Watch at 11 here. We're a little bit messed up scheme-wise. Technically he's here, but he's going to work the technique on this guy. But losing ground, gaining leverage. Don't like his pad level, needs to be screws to chin, but just showing you guys dropping his left foot, gaining ground, or losing ground to gain leverage. Better look of it here. So we're watching these 2 guys here. Great picture of it. He knows he's down one, Rohan's down one. Great job by Evan Wallace right here. Going to drop this right foot, lose ground, gain leverage, my hat's back inside. Same thing with Rohan, just want him to get his hat more inside. Always protecting the block spot. This is a flat line technique right here. Should have brought it up now. So heavy down inside with these. He's just going to flat line down, go make a mess. The only downside, we teach this thing as a last resort. We don't ever want to start thinking I'm flatlining, because what does it hinder? It hinders your ability to get out and cover. You get stuck in the mess a lot. So that's our last resort. Our shield, right? We have one that's part of our man side, and then another that's part of our man side with the ability to get to our zone side. Not focus too much on scheme, really want to hit on the technique here. So their toes are at 6 yards. Stop jumping around. All right, they're only going to move laterally. Heels on a cliff mentality. Don't want them moving back and compromising the block spot. Their aiming point is, again, inside number of the man approaching them. Using his hands, low stance, low slide, right? These guys are going to be taking on physical battles. Guys coming with a 5-yard head start at them need to have great athletic position, great hand strength. It's not a kill shot. We just need to protect the block spot for 1 more second. Keep a base and be the aggressor. Don't expect these guys to eat contact all day. We want them to be bringing the contact to them. So just look at it, just sliding heels to toe or heels on a cliff mentality. So again, we have 2 more circuits going on each side. This is the shield circuit. So he knows he's responsible for this is the 2. Alignment's a little wide, but he knows he needs to protect the inside leverage. This is day 1 stuff, so we'll give them more looks and more things to sort through. Heels on a cliff mentality, thick through the inside member. The backside shield for us, he's responsible for the 5 and then scanning back to the zone side. So that's why you see him closing down here with his right foot. Make the 5 not rushing. Great. I'm going to work heels on a cliff mentality. Back to inside number. What you can't have happen and what we got to continue to work on, you can't have these guys open the gate. So a lot of times they'll work that they see somebody coming. Downsy's rushing off the edge. They're so aggressive to get there, they open the gate. Now you're susceptible to up and unders. Got to protect the block spot, work through the inside number of the man approaching. So here's a look of it. We just said this guy's 5 to stand. Does a great job getting the inside pad level. Great job not losing any ground. Again, if they move back, they're just going to get blown up into the block spot. John Costanza on the right needs to get to inside leverage here. Right? Don't compromise the block spot, get to inside leverage. Heavy through the inside number. I think this is a clip of opening the game a little bit. So you see he's so anxious to go jump that thing. If he goes out around us, great. We just made it impossible for him to block it. All we got to do is get a slight punt. He gets anxious, jumps outside. Now he's susceptible. I'm going to stop using that word, stuff to say. To the block spot. Put this on here, fun coverage drill, right? Our guys enjoy this drill. So we have a look guy back here. We use our specialists to get them off the sideline and moving around. So they'll simulate the return. We'll just get these guys going around in a circle, right? We'll blow a whistle. Once that whistle is blown, they have to complete a trip around the circle and get out in coverage. All we're trying to simulate here is fitting off each other in coverage, right? Not everybody gets off their assignment and punt at the same time. So we have to understand where am I in relation to my health and where am I in relation to the football. So they'll go around. Coach Marks did a great job getting some juice on this drill, just having fun with it, being a little crazy. Whistle's blown, everybody completes a circle around the trash can. First man out, he's going to go take away the field. Take away the field hip. Next guy out knows he's on the other hip. The last two, they're going to fan out, make sure we have levels to this thing. Obviously, if this is a true football game, we're all going to the hip. We're just simulating fitting off each other, knowing where I am in relationship to my health, knowing where I am in relationship to where the ball is and which hip I need to be on. Again, move these returners around as much as possible, make it realistic. If you have a great punter and you know where the ball's going to be, great, but rarely does that happen. So now, Cooper High sees the first guy out. He knows he needs to go take away his near hip. Eli Mayhem's the next guy. He's going to take away his near hip. The next two are fitting in. Terrence, 31, is a little too tight here. We'd like to have levels and width on this thing, keeping leverage. These are just guys that are in coverage. Obviously, our gunners aren't a part of this type of drills, right? They're just going and taking a shot on the returner. This is more of the interior guys. Any questions on punt or any of those circuit works? Cool, get into my favorite, hit squat. This is kickoff for us. We call it hit squat, right? Core value, passion, for obvious reasons. We're going to have guys that have bad intentions, have a couple screws loose up top, and want to go down and cause chaos down the field on both the people that are blocking them and on the return. So passion, that's our core value. When we talk about kickoff, we talk about zones. Really, kickoff and punt return, we'll talk about zones on the field. Make it simple for our guys. Give them tools that they're going to use in each zone, right? So we talk about takeoff zone. That's the minus 30 to minus 35 yard line. That's where we kick off from. That's just getting out of our stance, getting off the blocks, right? Gaining speed. Our fly zone is the minus 35 to the opposite 25. So this is where we just want to cover as much ground as possible. Our toolbox here is stick, dip, and rip. Button press really is the last resort. In the fly zone, we're trying to cover ground. If we can, we're trying to avoid all contact. Make people miss in space. Make people miss in space. In the strike zone, now is the time to lock it down, right? So now we're going to be physical. Our toolbox is button press, and then we'll tear, press, and strike on the block here. But again, just breaking it down, giving them a toolbox to use, knowing what to expect in each zone. We'll go through it here. Starting with the takeoff zone. Again, proper alignment. Need to be disciplined on this. So we're covering our lanes. Our inside foot is always back. Reason being so we can turn and grip this smart spot of the football. When I say smart spot, that's what these guys are looking at to know when to take off. So we'll do drills with this with our kickers. Everybody's tempo is a little different. So everybody's looking at the smart spot. It usually lands on the minus 32 yard line or 3 yards before wherever you kick off from. So that way we're all taking off at the same time. We're all hitting the 35 at the same time. That's what the steel rod takeoff is. Everybody's hitting that landmark at the same time. We don't want layers of this defense or this kickoff unit early on. Man mark. So I'm not a big key guy. I don't want to slow these guys down. I want guys who just want to sprint down and cause chaos down there. So I don't give our guys keys in terms of fullbacks to read and what return to expect. I give these guys man marks, meaning they're just reading through the takeoff zone and into the fly zone. So I'll have the 2 and the 3 reading the tackle. This is a 6-man front. The 4 is just reading the guard. The 5 reading the center. 6 reading the center. Our 7 isn't a part of this. He's a wolf player. Our 8 really will fit inside the guard. 9 outside the tackle. 1 and 10 are our safeties. So as I'm taking off, I should see the departure of each guy that I need to fit on. That usually is a pretty good indicator of where the return's going to go. A lot of that is based on game. I'm not trying to analyze this. I would just want guys flying down the field, covering ground. All right, fly zone. This is when the fun starts. So we're reading our man marks. Full speed through our man marks, meaning I'm not reading him once I'm getting halfway through the fly zone. I'm just finding the ball and using my toolbox to get to the football. All right, 40-yard dash, flying the fly zone. This is the race to the football. We say our guys are judged in relation to where they are when the whistle is blown. We want all 10 guys. 11 would be great. Our kicker had 3 tackles on the 30-yard line last year. So we want all guys around the football when the whistle is blown. The toolbox, stick, dip, and grip. So the way we communicate this, and we'll get into it, but we want full speed decisions, and when in doubt, button press, which we'll hit on in a second. All right, front door. When we are front door, again, using the stick, dip, and grip toolbox, which we'll get to. All right, when we say front door, that means we're crossing face of the leverage that the return team has on us. Right, so we're crossing face. This is what we want. This is ideal because now we're taking ourselves right to the return. All right, but when we stick, dip, and grip, we want to step on the toes of the man blocking us. Down, please. Face this way. So I'm going this way. I want to get as close to Sean as I can. If I stick too far away, now he just has more time to react to me. I want to stick on the toes of Sean, and then I'm dipping, meaning I'm eliminating surface area. Give him less surface area to block, and then I'm going to rip up and through with a violent arm, getting my elbow to my ear. So if he does regain an arm, now I'm just ripping through. He has no chance to block. Right? Get your elbow to your ear all the way up and through. Back door, right? So these go hand in hand. Back door is the same technique in terms of stick, dip, and grip, and now I'm just taking a long way around. Coaching point here, you have to be ready to U-turn. U-turn meaning, if we're looking at Vince here, he's going to beat this man around the long way. He has to be ready to work flat to regain his lane and press the near hip of the ball. That's the coaching point on that. Stick, dip, and grip, everything's the same, but you've got to be ready to work flat. Otherwise, you're going to take yourself out of the return. Again, front door is more ideal. So this is how we read it. Again, we have 3 kickoff drills going on right now. Getting guys reps. So again, pop up, simulating the block spot, or the blocker. These guys back here, simulating the return. Step on the toes, right? I pick wideouts because they're usually better at this. We'll watch here, stepping on the toes of the blocker, dipping to eliminate surface area. There's no rips here, but obviously if there's any leakage of arms, you've got to rip through, get the elbow to the ear. So that's front door. Now we get to the back door. I think it's the harder technique, so we rep it more. We'll watch Tico, sticking on the toes of the blocker. Dipping, eliminate surface area, and then violent U-turn, ready to work flat, attract the near hip of the return. Here's another look at it. Sticking on the toes, dipping, eliminate surface area, and then work vertical. Be ready to U-turn, press the near hip of the returner, fight the hip. We're going to watch Vince here. These are 7. This is a high clip, so bear with me. It's the best clip of the back door that we had. Yeah, I know he crossed his face here, but wanted to put on what you have to do to U-turn. Just ready to work flat, press the near hip of the ball carrier, finish flatly on the floor. Now we're watching Chris. These are 3 right here. Has a natural ability at this. He just needs to work on his pad level because he gets caught up sometimes. But strike zone, or fly zone, full speed. We want to eliminate. He knows who's blocking right now. You can see the leverage of where the return is going. There's your stick. He needs to eliminate surface area. Right? Working his swing, he gets away with it. A lot of times he'll get caught up. It's more room, more area for the blocker to latch onto. So what I do love is how he stacks, right? He puts him on his ass, making sure that he can't regain leverage. Now he's going to finish at the ball carrier. He's going to finish. Tackle at the 20, plus 5 and hit the yardage for us. All right, strike zone. strike zone. So now we are 25 to the ball. Big thing about this, can't avoid contact. If we avoid contact in the strike zone, I'm going to create a vertical seam for the return unit. Right, I'm going to create a vertical seam. So now I'm removing myself from my lane. All they have to do is get a piece of me, vertical seam. So I'm a two-gap mindset. 15 or less button press. What that means is strike zone is 25 to the ball. In our sky, sometimes we will sky kick, right? That doesn't mean the strike zone stays the same. Anytime I am 15 yards or less from the returner, I need to think button press. Same mindset. I don't want to take myself out of the lane and give a vertical seam. So 15 or less button press. All right, tearing off blocks, near leg, near shoulder tackle, and then always preaching swarm in the strike zone. Everybody's going to get to the football. But 15 or less button press, you'll hear us say that all the time. A couple tools used. So we have stab and edge. That's a technique used by whoever our force defender is on kickoffs. So we will kick to the left and try and put it on the numbers to our left. Expecting the ball to be there, knowing we want to take away any boundary return immediately. Right, so this is used by a force player versus a kick-out block. A lot of times those are going to be bigger bodies, tight ends in the back end, linebackers in the back end. We need to set an edge. Be physical. We have some great clips on it. Our two this year was really good, really physical. Near foot, near shoulder, and keeping my outside pad clean. So down to say fullback coming to kick me out. I see it. I'm going to say square. I'm going to stab an edge. So I'm violent, stepping into it, near leg, near shoulder contact. We don't teach using hands on this block because a lot of times it's way too physical for that. And we'll end up turning our body and losing our leverage. We want this thing hitting inside of the kick out. So near leg, near shoulder, violent in, my outside arm, my outside leg clean. So if the returner's an idiot and tries to bounce it, I'm just disengaging and I can go. We have some good clips of it here in a second. So that's stab and edge technique. What we're working. So you can see this is this kick, tip, and grip drill going on up here. We'll put a shield here. It should be a little wider than this. That's my fault. And then we'll simulate, again, using our specialists, we'll simulate them as the returner. So here we go. Violent, throw a shoulder in, outside pad is clean, near foot, near shoulder. Disengage out and finish on the near hip. We always preach biting the hip on the finish. Get good habits of pad level finishing on the ball carrier. This is the better clip. Watch the side arm. Violent, throwing his body in there, setting a physical edge. We can't get widen and let that thing hit inside of us. Disengage, go press the hip on a great angle. Here's a look at it. Watch our two right here. So we're a force fold operation, so one will start to lag behind. He should be making a lot of plays. It's a boundary return. So don't like that he ended up head up, but you can see returner's thinking about bouncing because he's so physical and dense at this thing. There is no boundary return. This is where all of our help is. We all know where the ball's going to be kicked. We all have our angles set appropriately. Violent edge. Outside pad needs to be clean. He's a little too head up here. This is the goal. Force it back inside. Now we're going to watch the one. So he's going to disappear off the screen for a sec. We twisted these guys this week just to change it up. Here's our one, here's our two ready to fold. Violent edge, he ends up taking two. This is why we twist, we end up occupying two. They don't know who's going to be the force, who's going to be the fold. Occupy two, our one's three, make a play. Just need to finish, but this is why we pre-swarm. All guys finishing on the ball carrier. This was tackled at the 20-yard line, even though we missed a tackle. So that's force fold. Really, that's only used by our 2 or our 9, depending on our scheme. So kind of a unique technique used. Doesn't apply to everybody, but everybody will rep it because of how much we switch up our kickoff scheme. 15 or less button press. Can't stop our feet. Our screws have to go to the chin. Right? We're not going to get movement if we're high. Hands on the inside pec, and then violently bench press the blocker off and create separation. We want separation in button press. Want to get them off us, drive our feet through it. So here's a clip of it. Good job, Trout. Right? We'd like to see his feet stay hot through this thing. Those guys' feet kind of stop. There's a better clip coming up. But love that he screws the chin. You can see what the agile is doing, or the T-shield is doing. Right? It naturally goes up, which means that the blocker's weight is now going to be on his heels. Easier to disengage. Bonus points if we get knocked down and put them on their ass. But low to high, and then when we peak, So this, in this situation, he's getting stuck on the block. So as I peek, I want to peek over the shoulder. We don't ever want to get out and outside the framework of the body. We teach our guys peek over the shoulder to find the ball carrier, so we're not losing our level. And then we'll disengage, violent grip down, right the hip. Really good clip by Sherrod here. Low to high, screws the chin, runs his feet on contact. We'd just like to see more of a grip on the T-shield. Grip that thing low and away. Really good finish on the ball here. Same thing by Bugs, he's just going to get lower. So this is ideal. If we can get them off us early and bench press their ass off us, now we're clean and it's easier to find the ball carrier. But if we get stuck, we got to run our feet, peek over the shoulder, be ready to find the ball. So we kind of hit on it already, but if we don't get off the blocker, now our feet are gaining ground, we're peeking over the shoulder of the blocker, finding the football really turns into a two-gap technique. This is more of the pop-off technique. So this is what it should look like. Ideally, we're just getting off the block immediately. Really good job by CT sinking his pad level. Don't like that his feet stop and never guess. Never guess. If we're getting dead back, we're just going vertical until we find the ball. A couple good looks at it. We're going to watch Terrence, our forward, number 31, and then Jared, our 2. Watch him here, button press, get him off you here. It's a little bit of a soft one, I know. A really good job by Times, right? Screws the chin, getting knocked back. If this guy's being soft, great, disengage, go finish on the ball carrier, tackle at the 22-yard line. This is an example of not being able to get off the block. Watch it, I believe it's going to be these two. Yeah, it's wrong. So our 4 here, right? He gets blocked out. Doesn't create separation right away, but runs his feet. Watch what this does to the returner. So the returner is trying to follow the off return. This is the gap that they want to hit it on. If he just stopped his feet and tried to disengage, this gap's open. But he runs his feet, ends up being in, now he's just going to disengage and make the tackle. Great job setting an edge. Force player tackle, 25 yards. Need to use our hands. Right? Never teach our guys to throw a shoulder. That makes their job much easier. They're just going to grasp you up and take you where you want to go. So this is bringing everything together. So I love this drill. Stole it. Just about everything. So this puts the whole group together. So as we look at it, right, this is our 1. So he's our fold player. This is our 2, 3, 4, 5. Those are our Bass brothers. They're just trying to make a mess. 6, our 7 is our wolf, so we'll lag him behind and until we go find the ball. Our 8 is here, and then our 9 and 10 back here. So what we do, once we've done all the circuit work, we feel good about it, we're ready to put the whole thing together. Now we'll just do this in pause. So really what it is we'll have a scout team here. He's simulating the kick-out block. So on the whistle, he's going to go, kick him out. So now we're stab at edge, force fold, ready to go. Reading off the returner, he bounces wide, great. We're disengaged, should be a vice tackle on the hip. So after that rep is done, we'll reset these guys. So the 3, 4, and 5 in our scheme, they all fit off each other. Again, they don't have landmarks. They're trying to button press and get knocked back. So what we'll do, we'll give them 1 T-shield. So this guy's just going to pick 1 of the 3 to go fit up on. So he's going to work a button press. The other 2 know they have to adjust. So he knows he has to fill the spot of the 4. He's keeping his leverage on the ball carrier as a 3. He really is going to become the 5. So that's their block. 3, 4, and 5 working together. Again, just a simple button press. You can add another guy into it. Everybody's vicing, finishing on the ball carrier. So after that rep's done, now we go 6, 7, 8. They all work together. Our 6 is a crucial spot in our scheme where he's the first line of defense versus a field return. So these guys are rolling again. Button press, fitting off each other. Terrible technique. Get your hips through, run your feet, but finish you on the ball carrier. And then lastly, our 9 and 10. Our 9 is our straight paint player. If it's a boundary return, he's free to go chase the football. Our 10 is our safety. So this is the last phase. Those 2 will always work to each other. 9, pressing the hip of the ball carriers. And then 10, keeping everything inside and in front. Yeah. Any questions on kickoff? Good there? Going to the last one. Punt return. This is all about competition. The way our scheme's dialed up is we have all one-on-one matchups across the board. Everybody's responsible for 1 man. And if we win all of those battles, this thing's going for 6. competition, compete is the core value. Punt return philosophy, we already hit on it, 100% possession, 100% penalty free, disrupt the coverage when we're going after it. All right, in our hold up, we talked about 1 second equals 10 yards, meaning if everybody holds up their guy on the line of scrimmage for 1 second, we're getting at least a 10-yard return. If everybody does it for 2 seconds, this thing's going for 6. We want to be explosive. Block the punt, return a touchdown, find a way to change the game. Our field zones, again, make it simple for our guys. We will have techniques that we use in each one. So line of scrimmage phase, the first 5 yards, trail phase is the next 25 to 30, and then point of attack is wherever the returner is, whenever I'm 5 yards from him. Going into it, line of scrimmage phase, the first 5 yards are to hit on it, hold up versus rush, so they need to know the scheme and know what technique is being used. Our leverage, we will say get frontal, stay frontal. We'll hit on that in a second. Want to control the line of scrimmage, again, 1 second equals 10 yards, and then win early. Do your technique early, and we're good to go. Here's our line of scrimmage phase. We have two tools that we can use. Really, these are based on whatever the call is. So hold up. If we're just going true hold up, our feet are shoulder width apart. All right, we're going to grab with an aggressive outside shoulder. So if I'm on the punt return team, we want to grab wide and grab on the cloth. It's very tough for officials to see who's holding who when you're inside the box on this unit. So initially, we're going to step into it, wide hands, we call it squeeze scrapes of the shoulder on the shoulder pads of the band we are responsible for. Active feet, mirror, that's part of the get frontal, stay frontal, and then ready to transition into trail phase. Our other one, very similar, except now we're trying to sell rush. If that is up, block spots to my left, your guys' right. We're going to angle in towards the block spot. I'll switch my feet. On the first step, I'm going to sell like I'm rushing. His job is to block me, so he's naturally going to step to me, and now I'm just back into my squeeze grapes and hold up phase. Well, we're just trying to sell rush on that. That's the set, the bait part. Be physical, get a great step off the line of scrimmage, make them feel like you're rushing the block spot. It's only going to make them stay in protection longer, which is great for our cover. And then we're ready to transition. So here's a look at it. This is hold up. So we're just in true hold up. Watch number 7 here, Latrell. Wide hands, really good job by hands by Chris as well. And then we'll move these guys. So we already told them a direction to release to. We'll go 1 whistle. We're squeezing grapes. Second whistle, these guys are free to shuffle on the line until the 3rd whistle, which they'll release. On that second whistle, we're just trying to get frontal, stay frontal. Boom, whistle's blown. Now we're trying to wind him off this path. And now we're into trail phase. We'll get into that toolbox in a second. So the longer we can keep them on the line of scrimmage, the better job for our returners. We're dynamic with the ball in their hands to go get yards for our offense. Talk about the trail phase here. So now this is rush to grab. So same technique. Now we're just selling rush. Block spots to everybody's left. We tell them to have the stripe of their helmet at the block spot. If that's the case, we have a good angle. We're going to set the bait, violent step up the field, and now we're just right back into our hold-up technique. Squeezing grapes, really good hands, and a really good job widening, right? Widen them, create vertical seams for our return. Never want to be over the top. So we'll talk about our trail phase, but always underneath so there's no throw. Really good job here. Got a clip of it. Again, the more we can do this, the better. Keep him there, keep him there. He hasn't broken our hips. Get frontal, stay frontal. I'm still there. I'm just moving laterally. Will never be a hold. Once he gets out of my hips, now I can't grab on anymore because then I'll be holding him now outside the box. Here's a great look at it. So we'll watch the bad example first. Number 6. Bad feet. Bad hands. Doesn't sell rush. Outside of his hips, he's still grabbing on. Called for holding. Other side. Really good job by these two. Really good demeanor on the line of scrimmage. Would like to see wider hands. But really good job working to stay frontal. Looking at 90. Really good job. 1 Mississippi. 2 Mississippi. If everybody did that, we're fucking scoring this thing. Now he's going to widen it. That guy has no chance in coverage if this is a good kick. Good example, bad example. All right, next phase is the trail phase. Now he broke my hips. Now I'm covering down the field. Right? So after 5 yards and then 10 yards before the return. We're going to stay in phase with the coverage seam. The way we teach it is basically trail man coverage. I'm a bent arms length trail, eyes on the hip of the man I'm responsible for. If their hips drop, our hips are dropping. If their hips drop, that means the return is probably coming out. They're dropping for a reason. They're ready to break down, to either change direction or take a shot on the returner. So I have to drop my hips and go into the tools that we're going to get into. Point of attack phase. 10-yard bubble for the returner. We're working to finish with leverage. Again, creating the vertical seam for the return. Ball meat man relationship. Coming back to the basics. Right? 0 blocks in the back and then finishing our job. This is the area we have to improve on. A 5-yard return can turn into a 20-yard return very quickly. So here's our toolbox. Sit and fit. Right? This is our primary tool that we want to use. This means we did our work early. We're in great position in the trail phase. I'm within 10 yards of the returner, and now I can work a sit and fit. So I have inside leverage. I'm going to widen with the near hand. We're just going to talk about it. So we'll say the returner is Quinn Lewis. Quinn, raise your hand. So I'm in the trail phase. I'm coming in. Downsy drops his hips. That means the returner is probably coming up on the returner. I'm going to sit, violently slam the door. So now inside, there is now a vertical seam for the returner to work. Or I missed. As we're working down the field, I want to widen with my near hand. Again, just extend that vertical seam. He sits, his body comes back in. I'm sitting fit. Make sure the returner has a lane to hit. All right, our avoided clip. Again, last resort. We're losing coverage on our man that we're responsible for. Can't get into the sit and fit position. We're going to pick a spot between the returner and the man that we're responsible for. And the way we teach it, we're just going to shoot a leg. So if the projector is my man, the returner's here, I know I can't get to a sit and fit. I'm out leverage. I'm going to sprint. I'm going to leap off my inside foot, turn my back, and get big. We overemphasize this in our clinics or in our circuits, because we need to get better at this. We want to get big, initiate contact, make it very evident for the official that we're not locking them in the back. Our back to the return, to the man responsible. So here's a diagram. I'm in phase, pop up is the returner, able to sit and fit and close the door. Another look at it. I'm out of phase. I'm going to pick a spot between the pop-up and my man, and then I'm going to shoot land, put my back towards the man I'm responsible. Again, part of the circuit, water drills going on. So I'm in phase, I'm in great bent arms length trail. His hips drop, slam the door shut. The one thing I would coach that you can do a little better is just try and widen that thing. Try and widen it up. Another look at it. That's a better job widening. That's what it should look like. His hips drop and slam the door shut. And then once he retraces, now I'm just getting back into ball-man relationship. Same thing here. Really good job by Jared with his eyes. Trail man. We can just widen this thing. A good job sitting and fitting inside, creating a vertical seam. Now we just back the cones up a little bit, make it hard for them to get there. Darius, number 6, can't get to sit and fit position. Going to pick a spot. Try and create contact. Better job on the finish here, creating contact, putting himself in a ball-man relationship. There will be some ugly clips of this the first couple times you do it. And you see it pop up on tape very often when we're at a phase, and a lot of times it's somebody that I wasn't responsible for. If I had lost my man, we don't teach our guys to just stop and not cover down the field. Right? They may find somebody else that they have to go avoid a clip on. Shows up on tape. So a skill that we try and work every time we do punt return. Let's play. And you see this is the picture from earlier. He's in trail, not bad position, really good position, really good position. He's working towards it, kind of losing it. So the sit and fit, like we said, that's within 10 yards. He's trying to sit and fit way too early. That just gives them time to get off blocks. But again, he's in leverage, he's in great position. He's trying to avoid a clip. That's last resort. If he sits and fits on this thing, Now we have a vertical seam. Same thing back here. Trying to sit and fit a little too early. You can see this is the man we lose. He's trying to use the wrong tool in the wrong spot. He's in great position. He just sits and fits. We have a wall. We're getting vertical or a dynamic return. This is a good look at what the technique is. He's just a little too soon on it. But he did his work early, which is why his man's so wide. He's able to get away with it. All right, assault. So that's our punt hold up, and we're trying to get a return. This is the last thing we got. How much time do I have?
A little bit over.
Okay.
Let's back up. Yep. No, it's moving break up room 2.
Yep. We'll skip all of this stuff. It's just blocking punts. I want to get to this. Again, if you guys want anything, let me know. Here's our junior day days. Encourage your guys to get up to us. All right. What that entails, they'll get a campus tour. They'll get measured in our weight room. So we have measurements on all your guys. They'll be able to meet all the coaches, and then they'll see you practice as well. So full day to get the full CareyMaine football experience. I would encourage you to get anybody up here. I will send, if you reach out to me, I will send this to you. All you got to do is scan the QR code. Here's our Blackberry Elite Camp. Same deal there. And then our team camp, we had a great turnout from guys last year. It's been a great response. This will be our 3rd year doing it. It's something that we have that's been great so far. They stay in the dorms throughout the weekend. And then last year, our youth clinic, changing it up. It's not going to be overnight this year. It'll be 6 individual days for an hour during these days. Great experience. I appreciate you guys for coming. Thank you again for everything that you do for the state of Maine. Appreciate you guys. Thank you.